Good evening. We have our special meeting today for the City of Dilley City Council, March 24th, 2026, located at 116 East Miller, Dilley, Texas. Council members, can we please call meeting to order at 6:01 p.m.? Roll call, please, Natasha.
Okay. Mayor Alexandria Inocencio,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alicia Machado,
Present.
Councilmember Place One Everardo Castillo,
Present.
Councilmember Place Two Eric Aranda, Councilmember Place Four Ray Aranda,
Present.
Councilmember Place Five Noel Perez.
Present.
It is a special meeting. We do have a quorum. If we can all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States and the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Invocation, please.
Let us pray. Dear God, we pray for wisdom and knowledge and guidance as we manage the affairs of the city. Be at our side always. Amen.
Amen.
Item 5, citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. The City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC-0169. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
No citizens.
Thank you. Item number 6, presentations. 6A, presentation on final fiscal year 2025 audit report.
Council, I'd like to introduce our auditors, Eli Mendoza from the Garza Gonzalez and Associates. They did our audit this year, and I believe they've been here for several years now. Second year? Okay. Just keep that.
Mr. Alvarez, and good evening.
Good
City
evening.
Council Mayor. Good evening to be here. As you mentioned, I'm Eli Mendoza. I'm a partner with Garza Gonzalez and Associates, and this is our second year that we've audited the city. I'm pleased to come before you and give you some highlights of the audit that was recently completed. I think you've been provided the booklet, the annual financial report, and also there's a letter inside, the audit communication letter, which is, some people know it as a management letter. And if I may proceed, I would like to highlight for you some parts of the audit, the most important parts.
Yes.
On page 2 of the booklet is the independent auditor's report. This is the main report that you've hired us to provide the city. This report is a clean report this year. We call it formally a unmodified report, which is the best type of opinion a CPA can render on financial statements. And again, this is for the city of Dilley for the year ended September 30, 2025. So in our opinion, we feel that the financial statements that are included here may be relied upon and they're fairly stated. And we perform our audit in accordance with our professional standards, which are generally accepted standards, and also the accounting principles, which is the governmental accounting principles. So that is the main report. It's included on pages 1 through page 4. Then on page 5 is the management discussion and analysis. This is a brief, you may call it an executive summary of what's included on the report. So if you don't have time to go through every page, I recommend that you review at least this section of the report, the management discussion and analysis. So at the very top are the financial highlights. So at the end of the year, September 30, 2025, the total assets, deferred outflows of resources of the city of Dilley exceeded liabilities and deferred inflow of resources by about 19.65 million. So what that is, you may say, oh, we don't have all that money. Well, we're not talking about cash here. We're talking about the difference between the assets of the city, which includes the land, the buildings, the money that's in the bank, the accounts receivable that you have, and then that offsets with the accounts payable, the money that you owe vendors, the money that you owe in bonds, the money that you owe for like any other liabilities, including construction payments and that sort of thing. And then in addition to estimated liabilities for pension costs. So the net of all of that is about almost $20 million. So that is your net position. Then if we take all the on the third bullet, we take all the funds together, the governmental funds, which is the general fund and all the special revenue funds, not just general fund. So you have all those funds have a net fund balance of 1.93 million, an increase. You pretty much kept it the same as the previous years. So there was a slight increase of about $28,000. And then now we're talking, now the last bullet is the general fund. And the fund balance is 1.1 million. And, in general fund, if you recall last year, the ending fund balance was only, what was it, Rudy, about 25?
58,000.
58? I was thinking it was lower. It's in here in the report. And so it's 1.1 million. So basically the main increase of that was the closing out of the civic core funds, which was primarily, I think it had a fund balance of $949,000. So that fund was closed into the general fund. You really did not need that fund. So we made that recommendation for that to be closed out because it really didn't meet the qualifications for it to be a special revenue fund. Okay. So that is, at the end of the year, there was a little bit of an increase there, once you factor that in. Then I would like to jump now to page, we're going to skip a little bit here. We're going to go to page 21 and 22, because I want to highlight for you the utility fund and the prison fund. So for those funds, and also I want to highlight the statement of revenues and expenses. So the money that comes into the city and the money that goes out, so you had for the utility fund, 2.8 million in charges for services. And then the prison fund, 956,830. And then in operating expenses, you had 3,052,000. And then in the prison fund, 1.1 million. So you had net operating losses on in each of those funds of 200,000 in the utility fund, and I'm rounding, and then another 208,000 on the prison fund. But then after that, there was some additional revenues that are not operating, because these funds are equivalent or similar to a business. So that is the way that it's presented. And then you had non-operating revenues and expenses that you had 92,000 in intergovernmental revenue, which is your grant money. And then your 180,000, those are reimbursements that from the Texas, from the state from the prison system, yes, about 180,000, because they reimburse you for bonds that you make payments on. So those are basically reimbursements. So then at the end of the year, you had a loss in the utility fund of 282,610. And then on the prison fund, you had a income of 246,000. And then after that, you did have some transfers in and out. So the bottom line at the end of the year, you end up with a net position, or you could call it a fund balance, but it's really called a net position of 9.9 million in the utility fund and 1.8 million in the prison fund. Okay, so, and then the next section that I would like to highlight for you is the budget to actual operations for the general fund. And let me get there. Those are on 52, page 52. This is the presentation of what you as a council approved as the original budget, the final budget, compared to the actual results of revenues and expenses. And then the variance, the last column, is the differences. So for revenues, you had revenues, actual revenues that came in of 2.3 million, 63,172, compared to 2.4 million in your final budget. So you had less revenues that you budgeted, about 43,871. And then on the expenses, you had expenses that you budgeted of a little over 3 million compared to actual revenues of 2,593,823. So you ended up the year with a more expenses and revenues of 230,000 for the year. And then you had transfers in, there was some sale of property, and then there was transfers in of 1.3 million. And you ended up, and that part of that 1.3 million is the 949,000 that was transferred in from the Civic Corps money. So that's the bulk of that, where that money came from. And then you ended up the year with the fund balance of the 1.1 million, 77,000. So as Rudy indicated, the beginning fund balance there was the 57,834. Okay, any questions so far on what I've covered? No questions? If there's no questions, then I would like to briefly highlight for you the separate letter that we've issued. We call this the audit communication letter. And I'm not going to cover a lot of it, but basically, if you have time to read it, these are basically outlines, items that we as auditors are required to communicate to you as a council. So if we had any difficulties that we encountered during the audit, we would be required to communicate those to you. And I'm pleased to report that we didn't have those disagreements. Then adjustments that we corrected, we're giving you like some of the significant adjustments that we made. You had a contracted accountant that helped a lot with the reconciling the books, but in addition to that, we had a few more adjustments. So primarily depreciation expense and also some reconciliation entries that we had to do, not to cash, but to other accounts. Not too bad. It was books were in good shape. Just needed a little bit of help from us. And then as far as recommendations that we have for you, things that we look at, we select a sample of expenditures, and we look at whether you're complying with your policies. And so that's noted on page 4. There's some improvements that are needed there on that area, and we kind of outline for you the specifics of what we found. We also recommending that you do a little bit more work on your policies and your procedures for the finance department. And also on the area of fixed assets. So those are the highlights that I have for you this afternoon. If there's any specific questions that you have on any of this, I'll be happy to address them, and also Rudy's here, he can also.
On the sinking fund, what is that 2%?
That's that's a requirement from you're supposed to set up a different account. And I think that you had it, but it was closed out. You know, so there's on the bond covenants, it requires that you have that. You're good on making the payments, but it's just you're required to set it, to have it separately. So we had made this recommendation last year, but I'm not sure what happened. I guess, you know, you had transition there. So maybe that's the reason why it wasn't, yeah. But you did make all your payments that you were required to. You do need to watch out on your expenditures, you know, because you really are, you know, in some cases overspending. And so, you know, we've discussed it with Rudy, you know, working on policies and procedures and making sure I told him you gotta have a hawk eye on each of the line items on your budget so that you can keep everything, you know, keep a close eye on, that you don't go over what the council has approved. So, any other questions?
No.
Eli,
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out that lost in all those figures may have been on a fundamental basis, though. We overspent on all our operating funds, that is more expenditures than revenue, except general fund because of that transfer from the old leftover in the core civic. And I would just like to emphasize that for the council.
Okay. So you got your work cut out.
Yes, we're working on it.
Yeah. What he mentioned is that each of the funds you're saying were overspent, except for
Yes.
general fund.
Except for general fund, thanks to that transfer
So
from,
when you compare revenues to expenses, you had more expenses
right,
than
than
revenues. That's
than
what we're saying.
revenue.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. And I didn't cover every fund, but all those funds are in there in the back. I kind of just highlighted for you, general fund, the utility and the prison fund, you know. And that prison fund, that's another one that you need to pay particular attention to because you have an agreement with the state and they're supposed to reimburse you for all those expenses, and discussing this with your administrator and also with Rudy, you know, the city really needs to look at and make sure that you capture all those, that you get reimbursed pretty much
Correct.
for everything. And
Mhm.
we offer our help to, you know, review whatever you come up with, because there might be some additional things that you have to request
For
reimbursement.
reimbursement. yes.
Just to make sure, because when we do the audit, we're looking at the overall picture and the big areas, but we didn't necessarily narrow down on that fund, you know, so that, because you have that agreement, it's a good idea to make sure that you get, you know, whatever expenses that you're entitled to. And also make sure that you're charging to that fund everything. Like, for
Everything.
example, I know there was some repairs, you know, to the water pumps or the water well.
The electrical.
Yeah, and so, you know, I was telling Rudy, you gotta charge there not only the materials, but also the labor that was spent. And it may mean that you gotta transfer some of the expenses that are in general fund, you know,
To them.
really,
yes.
they're part of this fund.
Yes,
So you gotta keep an eye on everything.
most definitely. Yes, and I know we're working towards establishing the policies and our financials and expectations and so forth from each department and reconciling and making sure everything is in our books. So thank you.
I want to address the gentleman Donald Norman versus City of Dilly. The auditor, I mean, since apparently the city attorney had to inform you, your firm, that we're under a lawsuit for a dog bite, according to the letter.
Yeah.
And the city apparently owes 3,900. Is that correct? I mean, I want to be enlightened as a council person and as a citizen. Can we be transparent about this? I mean, this guy This guy wants $400 in medical expenses, 100,000 for mental pain suffering. I mean, 100,000. I could be a millionaire by now, just walking out on the barrio in Delhi. I mean, I'm not supposed to do this, but who interprets ownership of the dog is my question.
I'll try to address. I will try to address that question, Councilman Bettis. We recently, we were notified that, based on an incident that occurred in 2024, where the city had kept a dog, in the city's possession as their dog
At the city pound at detention,
yes.
does that automatically make us the owners of those dogs?
We
That's my
established,
question.
based on the testimony and statements that were taken by given by our employees, we established that the dog did belong to the city. So that is not going to be an issue that's going to be raised as a defense. It's been established. I think there was some minutes and Ms. Natasha can.
So does this go before TML?
It has been, it went before, once the lawsuit was filed, we gave it to TML, who then hired an attorney on our behalf. That attorney has already met and taken statements from the employees that had, fact, knowledge regarding the situation. The attorney, we can certainly bring him here to give us a little update on where we're at with that, but he feels that the city is in good standing. This is a lawsuit. It was not a major medical situation. It was more of not even a puncture. It was a bite. But the fact that we established the dog belonged to the city, we are just maybe looking at trying to settle this as quickly as
All right.
possible.
When did this happen? I don't know anything about such incident.
So,
It was in the packet.
we can certainly bring that back. This is a presentation, so we can't really address any questions under presentation.
No, but this was a letter.
You're,
included
yeah,
in the
just so for
presentation.
corrections,
We-
you're raising, an issue that was submitted as part of the, letter that's required by our audit. And I don't know, Mr.
Our city attorney had to have.
Yes, if you want to
Notified.
address why that letter is asked for.
We normally have to ask if what litigation is out there. And then, usually we don't provide specifics because of legal issues, but the fact that the city had, if there was an assessment that there was a potential liability, then the city would have had to set up some sort of a contingent liability or no disclosure, but since this is still in progress and you got insurance, we didn't really, we didn't recommend disclosure in your footnotes.
I mean, doing it can be frivolous, but to TML, it
Yeah.
might be potential, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but also you want to be cautious and, any legal matter should be disclosed should be discussed in
In
closed
executive
session,
session.
not in the.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes. I'm not an attorney, but just. That's the way it normally check, yeah.
Okay, good.
Any questions regarding my presentation or the the report?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Item 6B, presentation on the purchase of the advanced meter reading AMR system and associated meters.
Mayor, I do have a question.
Mayor, council, this is a presentation where we're asking HydroPro to come back and just do a quick, brief overview. I believe this was presented to council, back in December, maybe January. In December, where the council authorized, our bond counsel and our financial advisors to go out and seek, some issuance of certificates of obligation based on the presentation from Hydro Pro. And because we're having to address going out for these certificates of obligation, we thought we'd bring back Hydro Pro just to give you a really quick overview of what the purchase is, what we're looking to purchase, and give y'all an opportunity to ask any questions. So Mr. Daniel Trevino from Hydro Pro is here.
Thank you. Mr. Aranda, did you? have
On the,
something?
on the audit, we're not approving the audit?
That was the presentation, and then we have an item in the new
Okay.
business. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's just a quick review, overview of, kind of what we talked about before, just, not necessarily to getting into the technical aspects of it, but more of the benefits of having a system.
Nice.
Mayor, Council, Ms. Moran, thank you for having me back. Like I was explaining, we've gone through the technical aspects of the system before, and I can answer any additional technical questions we have, but I just kind of wanted to go over and review, the reasons for, and the benefits of having, an AMI system. So I'm Daniel Trevino with Hydro Pro Solutions. We're the master distributor for, Master Meter. Master Meter is a Texas-based company that sells throughout the United States. We are their largest distributor. We have the entire state of Texas and the entire state of California as well. So we are considered one of their premier distributors. Hydro Pro Solutions is based in Georgetown, Texas. So we're a semi-local company. We're here based in Texas. I cover the southern third of Texas. And these systems are designed to last 20 years. So for better, for worse, you're gonna see me here for the next 20 years if I make it that long. We don't, as a distributor, we don't just sell a system and be done with it. You have to deal with the manufacturer with anything that comes up. We're the liaison, the go-between between the city, its staff and the manufacturer, handling warranty items, troubleshooting meters, any kind of updates, things like that. So we don't see our utilities as customers. We see you as partners because we're here. What's good for the city is good for us and good for Master Meter. So it's a symbiotic relationship that we all strive to get a system that's going to work for everyone. This is the most important slide. Like I said, the rest of the technical stuff we can get into as detailed as you need, but the reason for AMI, it's not about just getting the latest and greatest. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. There's actual monetary and productivity benefits of having or going to an AMI system. One is improved efficiency. So having an AMI automatically updates or it collects data automatically. So one, your guys are not going out in the field day to day with the dangers of that, dealing with animals and bees and the heat, tearing up trucks, spending 3, 4, 5 days out of the month, every month, collecting reads. They have to physically take those manual reads back to the billing staff in the office. They have to manually input all these numbers. It's very time consuming. And this is something that happens every month. It's not a one-time deal. Every month, staff, both inside and outside, have to commit a lot of time and trouble to do this. So an AMI program streamlines that. So all the information is coming into the office daily, twice a day. Accuracy. The guys are out there working hard. It's very easy to transpose numbers. It's very easy to, if someone had to read my handwriting, they couldn't do it. So sometimes, billing has to kind of decipher what the guys are writing down because everything is manually read right now. That's where issues come up. Numbers can get transposed.
A 3 can look like an 8, the 1 can look like a 7, and that's where mistakes happen. When mistakes happen, it doesn't only affect the city, it also affects the citizenry by possibly getting a bill that's much, much higher than they would expect or what they should be getting. It's just an issue that it'll take phone calls back and forth, it'll take visits to City Hall. Anything that can be automated can reduce those human errors. You're getting real-time data, so the staff in the billing department doesn't have to roll a truck. If someone wants to close their account today, they're moving for whatever reason. The process right now is calling Rudy. Rudy gets one of the guys, they have to roll a truck, they have to go out and get the last read, make sure everything's okay. That has to get back to the city. Again, very time consuming. Mistakes can happen there. All this information is going straight to the billing department all day, every day. It's a customer service aspect of it with accurate, timely data. The data is correct. Customers can ask for, and the city can provide consumption reports. Hey, what have I used so far? I'm used to using 5,000 gallons a month. The city can contact the customer. Hey, you're up to 7,000 gallons and it's the 15th of the month. Maybe you should watch your usage so there's not a surprise at the end of the month, you get a big bill. Leaks can be detected on a daily basis versus right now you're going 30, 45 days if you're lucky before a leak is detected. So that's the biggest issue, is helping the citizens manage their expenses with the utility. And a big issue right now throughout the state is water conservation. Cities like Corpus Christi, Three Rivers, all of us down the valley, I'm from the valley, so we rely on the Rio Grande to get our water. Falcon Lake, Lake Amistad, they're very low right now. So water conservation all throughout the state is a big issue. Being able to get this information on a daily basis helps with your water conservation. You find leaks, whether it's with the city or with the citizens, you find leaks on a timely basis and are able to handle that. That's just some of the local kind of big and small references that we have. There's many more. That's just kind of the ones that I picked that were AMI related. That's kind of the system that you're going to. Any kind of contact information can be distributed to anyone that needs it. And you are more than welcome to contact anybody at those references. The next few slides are more of a kind of a technical part of it. We talked about the ultrasonic benefits of the Sonata valve. No moving parts, will be accurate for the life of the meter. Nothing to wear out. So the accuracy stays 100% throughout the life of the meter. It also is more accurate than a mechanical meter because it'll pick up a lot more water a lot sooner. That's just some of the benefits that I was talking about. The radio endpoint is the Cat-M cellular endpoint. So each individual meter is going to be cellular based to be able to communicate real time, all day, every day with the system. We also, at the time, we were talking about possibly rolling the gas system in. I think the gas system is still kind of up in the air, so that's something that can be added after the fact. If you decide you want to keep the gas and roll that into an automated system, we can definitely do that. Not all manufacturers have a gas product. So that's just a few slides talking more about the gas. That's just some benefits of the master meter fixed network. The fact that you'll have infrastructure at your water tower or on a cellular product, and it talks with the Microsoft Azure cloud, which is, and I always get the number wrong. It's the most highly encrypted cloud service there is. The military uses that same system, so you know that your customer's information is correct. Master meter doesn't store any customer information, account numbers, credit card numbers, or any of that. It's just consumption going back and forth. Your billing software handles all your customer information. That's just a few things of why the two-way AMI system is a good system compared to others that could be, your AMR, your drive-by system is once a month. It's very time consuming as well. So that's just some benefits of the system itself. Kind of the selling point of the whole system is the Harmony software, the Harmony Encore software, which the girls in billing, I shouldn't say the girls, the staff in billing. It's real intuitive and adaptable to whatever reports they want to run, whatever they need to do with the system. It's all at their fingertips. We go to there is a feature if you want to add in the future for a customer portal where your citizens can go on there and look at their accounts daily and get their consumption compared to the past or compared to, others in the system. That's
So
a little
that
bit more-
that feature is not included.
I'm sorry.
That feature won't be included with our package.
It's not. Basically, what we kind of talked about before is we have X amount of dollars
Mhm.
for the project. With a little bit of contingency, if there's money left over, usually cities will let us know. We do have enough money for this feature. It's a great feature to have. It's not necessary. So that's something that we can discuss, after the fact. We didn't want to include it in there if it, one, was going to get us over budget, and two, the engagement for different cities differs. So some cities, the citizens use it quite a bit. Some cities, hardly anybody uses it. That's just a conversation. Y'all know your citizens better than we would. So that'd be a conversation we could have before the project is up. It's a one-time fee, and so there's no cost for any updates or fees later on. And what we proposed was a turnkey project. So basically, you would, you're giving us a purchase order, but all the materials on hold. It's in a warehouse. We would bring the material down. We have a project manager that is the liaison between our contracted installation contractor and the city and the billing company. So he's here as much as he's needed to be the go-between, to be handling everyone. Yes, I'm sorry. So we're figuring the city the size would take about 2 months from start to finish. So we would have pre-construction meetings with staff and schedule everything to make sure that it doesn't interfere with your current billing. We want to be as little of a hindrance as possible in your day-to-day. So that's getting in with the billing employees and the employees outside. Pictures are taken before and after, all the information, the last read of the old meter, everything is electronically submitted to the city. So there is no manual entry needed. And that's basically it. I just kind of wanted to talk about the benefits of the actual system versus the technical aspects of it. So I don't know if there was any questions on that.
I have one.
Yes, sir.
You said the system was for 20 years?
There-
Does that mean that the meter is good for 20 years?
They're designed to last for 20 years, so it has a 20-year warranty, 10-year free replacement, and 10-year prorated.
Okay.
So for 10 years, you have free replacement, anything goes wrong with that meter.
Any more questions, council?
Mayor, I
Okay.
just want to point out, if I may, that Mr. Beck, our city attorney, just wanted to mention that we needed to make sure, because this is that it had gone through the procurement process, because it is an over $100,000 invoice. And so I did check, this did go through the buy board, and the vendor HydroPro did provide me with a contract number. So I contacted the buy board. I was given the information that it did go through the procurement process as required by our local government code. And they were awarded the contract. The buy board put out an RFP for these meters, and HydroPro was awarded the contract. I do have the award letter, the contract agreement that was given to them by buy board. So they've met their procurement process.
Well, thank you for letting us know, because it would have been a big disappointment. Because December, our legal was here and that went through, so thank you for that. Okay, thank you. If there's no other further questions, we'll move on to the next one. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Item number 7, discuss, consider an act on resolution number 26-24-03-1 to approve the City of Dilley annual financial audit for the year ending September 30th, 2025, and the corresponding audit communication letter.
Mayor, I'd like to commend our city staff, our contracted finance director. We had Irma Rodriguez, Natasha, our city girls. Not having a finance director for several years, our audits are decent, they're good. We have since hired a finance director, and he's already addressed some of the deficiencies that are noted on this management letter. So we're making progress, and I assure you that with our finance director, our audit will be even better next year.
That is
Yes.
so
Yeah.
most definitely. Thank you, Mr. Aranda. Ms. Moran, do you have?
Yes, Mayor, this is a resolution that the council has before you. Just basically that the audit was presented to you all, and you all are approving and adopting this resolution with the findings that were presented.
Thank you. Council, may I please have a motion?
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number 26-24-3-1 to approve the City of Dilley's annual financial audit for the year ending September 30th, 2025, with the correspondent audit communication letter as presented.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 4, Ray Aranda. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, discuss, consider an act on ordinance number 26-24-03-2, authorizing the issuance of the City of Dilley, Texas combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2026, entering into a purchase and investment letter, paying agent registrar agreement, and approving all other matters related to the issuance of certificates of obligation. Council, with advice from our city administrator, we're asking that this item be tabled or request to be moved to a special meeting. And that reason being that this item should actually be a notice of intent, not a notice to authorize. And that special meeting would be held on March 31st.
And Mayor, we'd also ask for you all to consider a special meeting when this particular item, so the notice of intent needs to come first before you can authorize issuing these certificates of obligation, this agenda item. We need to have you all authorize at the special meeting on March 31st, the notice of intent to publish the certificates of obligation. That's a 45-day publication. Then after the 45 days, we'll bring this back with an ordinance authorizing bond counsel to issue the certificates of obligation for financing.
Will the financial advisor be here?
They will be here virtual on the 31st. They will be here for the May, when the 45 days are up and we need to bring this particular agenda item back. They've asked either the 19th or the 26th for you all to consider in May.
Right, because my only concern is that this 750,000 certificates of obligation did not get in the way of our being able to issue any other bonds that we may need to find water. I mean, what good does it do us to have good meters and no water? That's the only question I have. But far be it from me to want to interfere with whatever council has decided before that hydro whoever was wanted this project.
Yeah.
It had been brought to our attention before, but it was too expensive then. It's come down some, so. But we still have to follow the bond issue.
Thank you.
So at this time, we're asking that you set a special meeting for Tuesday, March 31st for the notice of intent publication, and then to select a date in May once the 45 days have expired for either May 19th or May 26th.
Council, if there are no further questions or discussion on this, can I please have a motion as requested?
Mayor, Council, I'll go ahead and motion on tabling item number 8 and bringing it back on the March 31st special meeting.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo, second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
And if we can select a date for May, only because when we publish the notice of intent, it has to have the date that we're going to meet again to authorize the issuance of the bond. So either May 19th or May 26th as a special meeting.
So it's not an item on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I would just suggest that you select the date that you
Okay.
post on there and advise council when that meeting will be.
Okay.
Excuse me. Item number 9, discuss, consider, and act on resolution number 26-24-033, PD, addition of police officers. Council, as requested, this item was brought back after our last meeting. I believe there are some questions about financials, so I know Ms. Moran and Rudy have been working on this as well.
Mayor, Council, as Mayor stated, Council, this is an item that you all discussed at our last council meeting. And it was discussed that we come back and try to present more accurate picture of what our financial budget position looked like. And after hearing the auditor regarding expenditures, more expenditures than revenue coming in, it kind of fits in with the memo that is attached in your notebooks. What we're experiencing is just what we call a temporary reduction in our operational capacity. We have one officer that's out on injury-related leave. We have one patrol vehicle that was lost due to that incident. We are working closely with TML that vehicle has been declared a loss, so total loss. So we're asking TML to replace that total loss. The PD currently has one vacant position that does exist that has not been filled. And we have currently with the position that's on leave and then the one that's vacant, we do have staffing of 4 patrol officers. So that gives us what we should be at if we were at full current staffing. Staff's recommending that we do not go into any additional new expenditures. I think the 2 weeks from the last meeting wasn't sufficient for us to come back and really give you a view of where we're at with expenditures and revenue. Mr. Abadis is working on that. We either ask that we can bring this back in 30 days if you want to revisit this. We have talked to our police department and said, we can certainly address this in our new budget where I will be sitting down with each of the departments and getting what their recommendations are for their budget. And if they're wanting to request 1 police officer, 3, we can certainly put it in the budget, the new budget that we'll present to council. So.
I have one question. Far be it from me to disagree with you. I read your last recommended action to bring it back in 30 days. I don't know where I read that, but anyway. But I highlighted that one vacant position currently exists, and I have question marks behind it. One vacant position currently exists, one.
Mhm.
So why can we not address that?
That is part of what my recommendation is, that we need to address that and fill that position. Chief can probably address why it has not been filled. I'm not sure how long it's been vacant.
So if Chief, everybody's okay, the reason that position is vacant, Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, it is an administrative position. So that position has been used since council removed the one police officer position. It has not been filled as an admin position, but been utilized for a patrol officer so that we could have the 6 officers on hand. So with the new proposal, what they're requesting, from what I've gathered that's been presented, is that that admin position be filled as an admin to help with the,
I thought we had a chief of police though.
we do,
We
but
do.
we,
So that chief of police should be in charge of administration. And 8 people, we do need an administrator. I would rather have my chief be an administrator only. That's my position. And we do need 8 officers for backup. I don't like for officers to be by themselves, especially at night.
and so that's what I was, Mr. Perez,
That's
going
at
to,
least
is
the
that
job.
Mr. Chief Hernandez has been having to patrol, which, Ms. Moran has said it's a temporary position, but not only this time,
And
but the
everybody,
chief has
everybody
had-
knows that, excuse me, everybody knows that overtime adds up because of lack of staffing. It's just
yes,
automatically, it goes hand in hand with what are you gonna have, staffing or
or over.
overtime?
Yes, and they have spent some time to look at the financials, and I presented my numbers as well. Not only if we grant, I know they've been asking for 3 positions, but even if we did 1 position, that would be for the remaining of the fiscal year would be about $36,000. Based on what was been budgeted, it wouldn't be an amendment. Of course, later might, based on the expenses. However, our officers are working overtime. Chief of police, like you said, should be administrator, taking care of administration duties. Of course, he is out there patrolling and whatnot because he is part of his team as a leader. But I know that providing this position, and then we'll have to financially have it for next fiscal year, whatever council decides. But definitely the reason that they're feeling this now is because we did take away that position. And this is, again, I know other conversations have been brought up about other departments. And so what I've spoke to Ms. Moran about, and I'm not sure Mr. Alvarez was present at the time. However, it's not just for the police department, it's overall. But at this time, this item has been brought, and it's council's decision to discuss, to decide. Again, it's not favoring one department over the other, but it's going back and taking care of business how we had agreed to take care of business. And so that's the start of it now.
I have a question. So the police department has a position that hasn't been filled because it's an administrative position. Is that what you said?
Yes, it's a one of the ranking positions.
So if we had such a need for a police officer, that position should have been filled a long time ago with a police officer.
And it has been. That's what I said in my comments. It hasn't been filled as the admin
Mhm.
lieutenant position,
Okay.
but they've been utilizing it so that they could have an extra patrol officer that
So
we
then
removed.
it's not vacant, it's filled.
At this time,
It's that lieutenant position
Mhm.
is vacant. My recommendation, again, this is a short-term problem. It's not long-term because like I recommend in my staff recommendation memo, by just addressing some of these concerns, until we get to the new budget year. There is a staff position that could be filled, and that person could be out on patrol. To answer your question, Councilman Aranda, that position, if filled, everybody is now, there's been shift assignments. Everyone, including chief, are now working and patrolling. That vacant position would be doing the same thing, just short term until we bring back to you all the new budget for the new fiscal year for any additional staffing. My recommendation is that we utilize mutual aid. I have met with the sheriff. He is open, receptive to having someone from the sheriff's department work in the evening with the night patrol. I'm also asking that we implement controlled and monitored overtime usage. So there's some officers that are on off duty, want to work overtime. We could utilize that, but we would be controlling the overtime usage. And then, of course, just doing some shift assignments to maximize our coverage. That is my recommendation for this short term until we get that other officer that's on leave back on duty. We get that patrol vehicle. We also had 2 other vehicles that have been out at a repair shop since September. We have since gotten those back on. We've ordered those repair shops to start fixing those 2 vehicles. They should be coming out within the next 2 weeks or the next week. Yeah.
Since September.
Yes, sir.
How come
Okay.
it's taking so long to get these vehicles worked on? Didn't tell me it's finances?
No, ma'am. So what I can determine from my review is there was some additional, the claims were submitted to TML back when the incidents occurred back in September. TML was asking for additional information so that they could determine what the loss was to the city. And those 2 vehicles, that information was not provided till sometime around February. And so
Do we know how long it'll be before the other officer that was injured be back at work?
I do not have that information yet from their medical provider.
So while this officer is out, we're still gonna be short one. I think it's visible for the city to look for money to hire that one other officer. It's a need, it's a more want and need because we are down. And if for some reason that person can't come back, we already got somebody in that place, so we won't have to be struggling again to go out and look for another officer. And be short because we're holding that officer's position there. Am I right?
Yes, we have to
Okay.
by law, we
Yeah,
have
we
to.
have to, okay. And if for some reason another, that officer can't come back, we need to have somebody in that place so we don't have to go through this process all over again. So my advice is to go ahead and look for get another officer in place of it and let's get going.
We do have that one vacant position though,
Okay, well,
that needs to be filled. And again, I'm not sure if that is a lieutenant budgeted position. Mr. Avidas, we could not determine that.
yeah, I go back to where we were last month in the last council meeting. We never had a complete budget.
Right.
So we're looking at numbers that we don't even know how real they are. You know it, I know it, Rudy knows it, we all know that the budget was given to us at when we closed the budget. It was not a true budget.
And that's why woman, I would recommend, again, in listening to our auditor, that we wait till we get those numbers, and reconcile our budget for this fiscal year to see where we are with revenue and expenditures.
And I still think we need to have an officer there, because if this officer is out, this officer's been out, what, 2 months?
We don't, I mean.
Yeah,
it's been-
well, let's say she's been out since the accident, whenever the accident took place.
Mhm.
And the officer may not come back for another 6 months. Here we are in the same predicament. We could have fixed it right now.
And I just want to, just to give council a little bit more peace of mind. So what we have budgeted for that department for personnel is 577,000. And to have the current staffing that it does, it costs 497,000. And so with the additional officer for the remaining year would only be the difference of about 36, maybe less because of the benefits, and it's half a year, but just so y'all know.
So one of the things that our city attorney has said is that we look, and Mr. Alvarez can probably help me here. Depending on, this would be a budget amendment, because if we were to hire a full-time police officer, we're looking at the tune between 72 to 80,000 for an additional one, and we would be having to amend this budget.
Well,
Our
we're
current
gonna have
budget.
to amend the budget anyway, Miss.
Yes.
We're gonna have to amend the budget anyway, because we're gonna have to amend the budget for
Yeah.
your salary.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna have to take place regardless. So if we can do it all at one time, I'd rather do it at one time or do one at a time. And that's the way I see it. It's gonna have to happen. Look for the money like we have to look for the money for everything else.
Yeah, so we'll just have
So
to
if anything-
justify that amendment
Mhm.
for
And we've done it.
for an additional position.
The other thing is, if they get rid of their additional secretary, that's a position that could justify a police officer's salary.
Yes, we-
Not really. It equals to what's been there. It's
That
the
position-
same expense.
The police officer.
But we're
pay-
not speaking about
The police officer pay is 24 and that clerk position is making $20 an hour.
well, that's something that you can look into. Any other questions, council, regarding the additional PD police officer position? If there's no more questions or discussion, may I please have a motion?
Oh. I make a motion that we table this. Because I think we have to get the information that we're looking for. Unless we can hire an officer. If we can hire an officer, I'll go for the officer.
You are the motion. You can motion what you want, but yes.
To me, out.
So can you clarify what your motion is, please?
Okay, I make a motion that we look for funds to hire a new officer.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 3, Alicia Machado. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is 3-1. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 10, discuss, consider, and act
Thank you.
on election service contract between City of Dilley and Frio County for purpose of ordering ballots and all pertinent supplies connected with the May 2nd, 2026 municipal election. Natasha?
Mayor and council, this is our annual lease, lease agreement for the electronic voting equipment that we get for the early voting and for elections. It's not tabulation, it is the one that it's like a paper, it's just to vote electronic, that's all it is. We have to have it for handicap. But that's what we get this every year for early voting and for election.
No, she had a question. We've already done this. We did for agreement to.
For the order
For
of
them
the,
to
order the
order
election.
the election.
Yeah, this one is where we get into these two contracts with Frio County, where the Frio County election
County election.
administrator office.
Natasha, anybody could utilize this machine, right? Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding this agreement? Discussion? Not, can I please have a motion?
Mayor, I move that we approve the lease agreement between the city and the county for the electronic voting equipment.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 4, Ray Aranda. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, discuss, consider, and act on election service contract between City of Dilley and Frio County for purpose of ordering ballots and all pertinent supplies connected with the May 2nd, 2026 municipal election.
Mayor and council, this one is giving, it's just the service contract for county to order our ballots. As we do not, we run our own election, so it is not, the only thing that they do is just order our ballots and our sample ballots. That's it. It's been done. It's a yearly contract for it. That's the only thing this is really for.
When will the election, once, if this is approved, of course, it'll need to be approved, but when will we be expecting our mail-in sorry, our ballots,
Hope
sample ballots?
the sample ballots, and will be ready, hopefully by April when I go and pick up, the voter registrar. Which I usually give out so many samples to the candidates running, and we have it available to anybody who is looking to see who's running or who's asked for a sample
It'll
ballot.
be before early voting, correct?
It is before early voting.
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes.
And maybe this is for Ms. Hughes and, but Natasha. So why are we as the city still counting ballots by hand when there's equipment that can count ballots electronically in our county courthouse? Do you know? Do you know that, Miss? Yes, do you know the answer to that?
I mean, is there special equipment that we have to also
My
go into
question,
agreement with?
my question
Mayor, you
is,
can look-
why are we still? Why are we still counting ballots by hand when we have equipment available that can count ballots electronically?
Silly choice.
Really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure if you were, when you compare the cost, it is actually more efficient to use the machine,
Mhm.
but it's a comfort zone. You haven't made the transition yet. And you know that, just an FYI, you know that the mail team, the early voting, the early voting ballot team also does the audit of the
Mhm.
machines after the election.
Yeah.
And when we've done it for several years now. They're spot on, 100%. We've never found an error. If there's an error, it's because of someone didn't fill the dot in completely.
Mhm.
And when we audit, we can find that and go +1.
Yeah.
I mean, 100% on our machines and because of the software. And I don't remember the exact name of the software. There are softwares you need to be concerned with, not these. And they are not connected to the internet.
So it's really a city
Attitude,
request.
comfort level, your choice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay, nice, thank you. Yeah, I never knew.
Good question for clarification. Alrighty. So if I could please have a motion.
We're on the other.
Yes.
Yes.
May I move that we enter into a contract with Frio County?
Microphone, please.
Mayor, I move that the city enter into a contract with Frio County for the purposes of ordering ballots and all pertinent supplies connected to the May 2nd municipal election.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 4, Ray Aranda. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 12, discuss, consider, and act on adopting resolution number 26-24-03-4 for a volunteer student election clerk program for the city of Dilley elections.
Mayor, Council, this agenda item was brought as a result of a presentation or a request to consider giving our students an opportunity to participate in our elections. And so we did some research, and there is actually the Secretary of State does allow for student elections to workers. And there is some criteria that there's an application process. Myself and Ms. Prado attended a little, and Mayor was there as well, yesterday and we did a presentation to the students to see if we could get any interest of them volunteering to help with these elections. There is some benefits to them. They can also get some community service hours. They'll learn about our elections and engaging with the public. So it's strictly volunteer. There's a impact to the city.
I don't have a problem with using student volunteers, but so this would be strictly volunteer. They will not receive compensation.
Correct.
Okay.
Zero fiscal impact to the city's budget.
I was about to ask the same thing because it says here, section 3, students may be compensated for service volunteers. That's what, I was gonna ask the same question as well.
It is an option. We left it like that in case the city preferred to go that route, but it is a volunteer.
So let's say there is a lot of interest
Mhm.
and you have 6 paid staff or 7 paid staff, whatever they hire. Is that gonna make a difference with the paid staff and the volunteers? Does that, how is that gonna work?
The clerks will be following the paid staff. The paid staff will be supervising the election judge or the alternate judge, depending on what section they're in, or if they come in and sit down for early voting, it would be me explaining them the process and,
Okay.
having that one-on-one supervision.
You're also limited by law with a number that you can have. I think that's 4, and they're early voting,
Two.
2. So it's nominal.
Okay.
I don't know why as a high school student, I'm gonna come volunteer for anything when I know the judge is getting 21.
Yes.
So
All right.
we're trying to limit it for 2 to 4
Yeah.
at the most.
Mhm.
On the
And that's
volunteers.
maybe what we get, a handful of the
Yeah.
volunteers,
If
but
there's any interest from the students, we would try to limit it to 2 for the early voting and 4 for
and just the day that y'all presented, there was a few
that were in.
that were interested, so.
Yes, the smarter kids need their community service hours for National Honor Society.
And there is an application and it also requires the parents to sign off on it.
Yes. But
That's
Thank you, Ms. Mora.
Yeah.
And Natasha and Ms. Hughes.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Hughes.
If there are no further questions or discussion, may I please have a motion?
I so move, Mayor, that
Motion.
we adopt resolution number 2624-034.
Thank you, Mr. Bettis. Motion made by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Bettis. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Everardo Castillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 13, discuss, consider, and act on a resolution number 26-24-03-5, updating authorized signatories for city accounts at First State Bank. Yes. We are having to remove some of our previous city administrator, adding Ms. Moran to this as well.
We had already removed.
We did already.
Mhm. Yes, when we
Okay.
did the change with Mr. Alvarez, we switched it up.
Yes.
This one would just be to add Ms.
Add.
Moran.
Just
But-
add,
Yeah, but it also, by passing a resolution, it'll allow you in the future also, if you have to remove anyone from being a signator or adding, you now have a resolution that allows you to do that.
I do see here listed on here, Ms. Machado is also a signature on there.
That we would be removing her. I think she's no longer on there, I believe.
Ms. Machado was right here.
She's on the signature list.
So we would be removing her and it would be myself, the finance director and Ms. Brown on there, on the signature. I'm not sure why, why you want that.
We can keep Ms. Machado. It doesn't, we can have as many as we want. We just need to be updating when things change or a
Right.
turnover, we need to be updating.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify because I saw the listing, so I know Ms. Machado's a current signature on there. So we're adding Ms. Moran and leaving everything else the same.
If that's what council wants to. do.
Okay.
But the question was brought up, do we allow the mayor pro tem? I think it goes with the title,
Yeah, she's already a signature on there.
like it's a good job. I move that we adopt resolution number 26-24-35 with the changes that we do need to add mayor pro tem and of course, Ms. Moran on the city administrator.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Councilmember Place 4, Ray Aranda. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to, I'm so sorry. Moving on to item number 14. Discuss, consider and act on resolution number 26-24-03-6 on awarding the administration services for the 2026 CDBG Community Development Fund Grant Application. Mrs. Moran?
Mayor, council, the committee has scored the CDBG admin proposals. We received 2 admin proposals. Carl Esser and Carlos Colina Vargas. We had a committee made of Public Works, myself, mayor, and finance director. The proposals were reviewed and scored, and the recommendation was to recommend that council authorize the hiring for administrative services to Mr. Carlos Colina Vargas.
Thank you, Ms. Moran. Council, do you have any questions, discussion? And if not, if I could please have a motion?
Mayor, council, I'll go ahead and make a motion on approving resolution number 26-24-03-6 and awarding the administration services for the 2026 CDBG Community Development Fund grant application to Mr. Carlos Vargas.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo, as stated. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oppose.
Motion passes. Item number 15, discuss, consider and act on resolution number 26-24-03-7 on awarding the engineering services for the 2026 CDBG Development Fund Grant.
Mayor, council, this is, again, this is the scoring criteria that was used, that's provided by the funding agencies. The committee, again, the committee was made up of the finance director, myself, city secretary, and mayor and public works. There was 3 RFQs that we received. One was from Premier Engineering. The second one was Reynaldo Trevino. And the third one was from Southwest Engineers. Based on the scoring criteria, evaluation, and scoring, we are recommending Premier Engineering for the CDBG 25-26 grant.
Council, do we have any questions or discussion on this item? If not, I could please have a motion.
Based on the recommendation of the powers that be, whoever is on the committee, mayor, I move that we adopt resolution number 26-2437 on as presented.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 16, discuss, consider, and act on resolution number 26-24-03-8 on awarding the administration services for the Texas Water Development Board HB 500.
Mayor, Council, the HB 500 is a totally new grant that has been, it's still in the works. They not completed, the Texas Water Development Board has not, they're just ended their public comment period. They are now in the process of putting their application together for, it is going to be a very competitive grant using the scoring criteria that was provided for the previous and the same scoring committee. We had two proposals for the admin. And using the evaluation criteria, we scored Carlos Corlina Vargas' proposal and Mr. Carl Esser, and the committee is recommending Carlos Corlina Vargas for administrative service.
Thank you, Council. Do you have any questions or discussion? If not, if I could please have a motion.
Mayor, Council, if there's no discussion, we'll go ahead and approve resolution number 24-03-8 as recommended by the scoring staff to Mr. Carlos Godinez Vargas.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 5, Noel Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oppose.
Motion passes. Item number 17, discuss, consider, and act on resolution number 26-24-03-9 on awarding the engineering services for the Texas Water Development Board HB 500.
And there again, this grant is HB 500 is fairly new, and it is strictly for any improvements to water services. We received only one proposal, and because this is new, we wanted to go out and explore any additional engineers that might be interested in submitting an RFQ. We'd ask that we make a motion to extend the deadline to see if there's any additional interest from engineers for this particular grant, since it is fairly new. We'd like to be able to see some additional engineering proposals.
Yes, thank you. If there are no questions or discussion, can I please have a motion?
I'll go ahead and motion, Council, no, there's no discussion on going with the recommendation by the scoring staff of extending the deadline.
Motion made by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 3, Alicia Machado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Council. Discuss, consider, and act on adopting fiscal year 2026-2027 budget calendar. It's great to see a
Still see
budget calendar,
It was nice.
so we can definitely get to planning for the new.
It was the first time I ever saw this, though,
Oh,
the
Mayor, Council.
forehand.
This item is, establishes the official timeline for development and adoption of our fiscal year 26-27 budget. The calendar ensures compliance with the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 102, and provides transparency. What you have here is Exhibit A with several phases, 10 phases that we've broken this out, with phase 1 being the planning and kickoff. As you can see, starting March 25th, I will issue budget instructions to our department heads. Beginning March 31st, we'll start meeting with the department heads to prepare proposed budgets for you all to consider. My understanding is in the past is that the department heads have not been very involved in how the budget is developed and input and comments regarding their department budgets. So we want to make sure that we do get input from each of the department heads.
Yes, please.
But this is the calendar that we'll follow. We do have some wiggle room here, should we not have a quorum, where, so it allows us, as long as, we adopt and implement by the legally required timelines. Any questions? I start tomorrow.
This is awesome. I appreciate all of y'all's hard work and everything, and also to our department heads, make sure y'all bring y'all's wish list and be very vocal as well. Because we do want to help each department out and as best as we can. And as how Ms. Moran stated, right now that I know I've discussed to some of you department heads, and y'all never really have a voice in discussing y'all's budget. So y'all take advantage, please.
So the process is going to include with the instructions that they'll be given a budget sheet that's going to show what their actual budget was for this fiscal year, and their new budget requests, and then a justification section to justify why they're asking for these positions or capital equipment. Then we will take it back, we will look at it, and depending on what we are proposing to council, the budget versus revenues, we may have to whittle away, but department heads will be given an opportunity to justify their budgets to the city council. So you'll be hearing from them. I don't think that was ever in the past, and they'll be given an opportunity to justify why they're requesting what they are asking for in their budgets.
The councilman said wish list. Remember
Yes,
wish list.
yes.
Wish list.
And again, it is a proposed budget. The final budget is adopted by council, but with the help of finance and myself, we will give you a proposed budget that may not include all of their wish list,
Yes.
because again, depending on our revenues and the amount of expenditures that we're asking for.
But
Most
this is reality, so.
Yes, sir.
Yes, most definitely. And I think this is definitely a good start to start planning for the next fiscal year.
Yes, it is.
Definitely those concerns were voiced, and we're definitely gonna see it put into work so that we can get as close as we can for a sound budget so that we can provide the services needed for our constituents, our community. If there are no further questions or discussion, council, can I please have a motion?
Now go ahead and motion on adopting fiscal year 2026 to 2027 2027 budget calendar.
You made me reread that. I was like, does it not need a motion? Motion made by Councilmember Place 1, Everardo Castillo. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Place 3, Alicia Machado. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. It is 7:29 p.m. Meeting is adjourned.
What?